After the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Cleveland Browns on Thursday Night Football, Myles Garrett decided to call out Pittsburgh Steelers edge rusher TJ Watt after his comments made last year about him not winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. Myles Garrett takes a shot at TJ Watt on live TV, and also the Cleveland Browns social media page wanted to troll TJ Watt as well. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now let's get right back into it. So we all know on Thursday Night Football, Myles Garrett, he went off. He had 3 sacks, he had a forced fumble, and he was just a game wrecker versus the Steelers, and one of the main reasons why the Cleveland Browns won that game, especially in the first half. But TJ Watt, on the other hand, he had 0 sacks in that game, and he had some tackles for loss, but he didn't make a huge impact on the game, if any at all. And when he doesn't make an impact, the Pittsburgh Steelers usually lose, and that's what happened. The Steelers lost that game against the Browns, and Myles Garrett took it personal. Myles Garrett, going into the game, before the game even started, brought up TJ Watt's comments basically on social media after he didn't win the Defense Player of the Year award, where all he said was basically, "This isn't something I'm not used to," about not winning the Defense Player of the Year award. So Myles Garrett took that personal, and he brought up TJ Watt's comments to the media before the game even started. So you know he was going into this game with a chip on his shoulder, and he was looking to be the game wrecker and win this game to prove a point to TJ Watt, prove a point to people around the league that, hey, I am better than TJ Watt. But TJ Watt went into this game. I guess he didn't really care about Myles Garrett's comments. He talked to the media about Myles Garrett. He said he has nothing but respect for him, basically, and his comments weren't made to disrespect him. But anyway, Myles Garrett took it personal. Myles Garrett came into this game with a chip on his shoulder, and he got the better of TJ Watt and the Steelers. But it's not even about the Steelers, TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett. That's what TJ Watt said. It's not me versus you. It's our team versus your team. And we're not facing each other. We're not going across from each other, one-on-one against each other all game. No. If you guys are double teaming me, you guys are chipping me every single play, you guys are triple teaming me, it's not like I can't get sacks. And then when you get sacks, you just face one guy, and it's just like, hey, there's a difference here. It's not one-on-one. It's 3 versus 1, and then you're going on 1v2, 1v1-on-1 most of the time. So obviously the Steelers' game plan against Myles Garrett wasn't great, but TJ Watt is not facing Myles Garrett. Even though he got 0 sacks and Myles Garrett got 3, you look at it, and Myles Garrett won the battle. He won the matchup. He won the Steelers versus Browns game. And that's what TJ said before the game. It's the team versus team. Myles Garrett won the individual matchup, if you want to look at it that way, in terms of who's going to do better in the game, and also the team winning. So Myles Garrett talked his talk after the game, and he brought it up on live TV. On the field, when he was interviewed, he said this: "Like I said, I've got a lot of respect for Watt, a lot of respect for all the guys over there, and the edge rushers in the league. But I'm number 1. That's from Defender 1, Edge 1, to Defensive Player of the Year. I'm the guy. That runs through me. There's no other person being defended or schemed or planned against like I am. Just goes to show you, throw it out the window, I'm gonna find a way." End quote. So Myles Garrett obviously takes a shot at TJ Watt, saying, "This runs through me. I'm the better guy. I'm the best guy in the league. You're not." So let's talk about that really quickly. Is he the better guy? Is he the better player? No, he's not. He's not the better player. He's not the better edge rusher. He's not the better defense player of the year. He shouldn't have won defense player of the year last year. And that's just being honest. When you look at the numbers, all he won it based off of was PFF giving him a high pass rush win rate grade. Other than that, his stats weren't better. His sacks weren't better. His tackles for loss weren't better. His interceptions weren't better. Nothing was better, other than the Cleveland Browns record compared to the Steelers. But even then, the Steelers still won or made the playoffs anyway, so that shouldn't have mattered. Obviously, you look at their matchup for their career in terms of their numbers, everything for TJ Watt is better. When you look at the record this season, it's better than Myles Garrett. When you look at the games overall in their career, in the same draft class, TJ Watt played 4 more games, 114 to 110. You look at interceptions, TJ Watt 7, Myles Garrett 0. You look at yards on those returns, 48 to 0. You look at sacks for the career, 104 to 95.5. You look at their solo tackles, 318 to 231. You look at forced fumbles, 31 for TJ Watt, 19 for Myles Garrett. You look at fumble recoveries, 12 to 5. So you just look at TJ Watt for everything in terms of the main category of stats. Everything favors TJ Watt. And the thing is, though, Myles Garrett was a number 1 pick in that draft. So you would expect this out of him. But TJ Watt was picked, what, in like the late 20s or 30s? I forget what it is. But he still is better than Myles Garrett in terms of stats. And even last season, like I said, Myles Garrett didn't deserve to win that Defensive Player of the Year award. TJ Watt did. When you look at TJ Watt's stats last year, he put up 19 sacks. You look at Myles Garrett, he put up like 15, I think. And you look at Myles Garrett, he never got a sack in like the last 8 games of the season. And he really didn't show out. He didn't do anything for the second half of the season. All of his stats came in the first half, and then he took like a 8-week rest, basically, in terms of not doing anything for the rest of the season. And TJ Watt, without him, the Steelers wouldn't have made the playoffs. You could say without Myles Garrett, the Browns wouldn't have made the playoffs, but the Browns had the best defense in the league last year, with or without Myles Garrett. The defensive backs were just creating turnovers after turnovers. So you look at the Cleveland Browns and the Steelers, TJ Watt is the better player, stat-wise. And looking on the field, looking at how they disrupt the game, TJ Watt always makes the biggest plays in the game every week. And now the 1 week that Myles Garrett does something against the Steelers in terms of winning the game, he wants to go talk on live TV and troll and talk about TJ Watt and how he's better. But that didn't end there, because you could have just left it at that. Myles Garrett said what he had to say on the field in his live interview, but no, the Cleveland Browns also posted something on social media, basically pointing out TJ Watt's comments. He said nothing he's not used to as their caption on their X page, and then the quote by Myles Garrett, basically taking another shot and trolling TJ Watt again. So, looking at how the Cleveland Browns players, Cleveland Browns media team handles these type of things, you can see the reason why they haven't won anything since the 1900s. And that's why the Pittsburgh Steelers are the better run organization, and the Cleveland Browns will always be the little brothers of the Pittsburgh Steelers, because this was their Super Bowl. This was the game where just like, hey, if we win this game, it's like we won the Super Bowl here. You should have seen their locker room after the game. Everyone's so happy for a 3-8 record and getting a win over the Steelers. They're so happy that they finally beat the Steelers, and they did it in a game that Myles Garrett was actually able to do something, after it seems like TJ Watt always handles business against anyone, and the Cleveland Browns in general. So this was their Super Bowl. The social media team thought it was their Super Bowl. Myles Garrett thought it was a Super Bowl, even though they're not going to make the playoffs for another year after giving the biggest contract in NFL history in terms of guaranteed money to Deshaun Watson, and they're just a poorly run organization, and taking shots at TJ Watt like this just doesn't make sense. He is the better player, and your words mean nothing because he is the better player, stat-wise and proof-wise as well. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Myles Garrett taking that shot at TJ Watt. How do you feel about it? Do you believe that it was a direct shot at TJ Watt, or do you believe he was just saying that he's better than every player in the league and it wasn't directed towards TJ Watt, even though all week he's been saying TJ Watt's name? Also, how do you feel about the Browns and media team kind of trolling TJ Watt on social media and bringing up just one little line that TJ Watt said after not winning the Defensive Player of the Year award? I truly believe that TJ Watt had no disrespect towards Myles Garrett winning it. He just thought he should have won it, and he thought that he was robbed of it. He didn't discredit Myles Garrett or anything. He just thought he should have won. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about all this, and also your thoughts on the Steelers losing to the Browns. I know it was a bad loss. How do you feel about how the Steelers can bounce back? Can they bounce back, or is this the downfall of them? And one last thing for me on this topic, the Cleveland Browns will have a fun time watching the Pittsburgh Steelers from their coaches after the season ends, while the Steelers are making a playoff run, pushing towards a Super Bowl and making that deep playoff run, and they'll realize why the Steelers and TJ Watt were a better team, and 1 week just doesn't matter as much as they're making it out to be. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything like that. I cover everything Steelers. This is the best spot for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, And if you want to listen, watch, and not have to read it, this is for you. So turn on notifications, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.